Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. I'm Rebecca, and today we'll be having some fun in the kitchen while we make some homemade candy. Homemade candy is a great thing to make for some sweet treats all year round. They make a wonderful party favor, a great Easter basket addition, and it'd be really fun for movie night to make your own concession stand with popcorn and homemade candy. So follow along while we make some marshmallow treats. We'll be making some chocolate covered marshmallow eggs, as well as some homemade peeps. So the first thing that we need to do for making our homemade marshmallow candies is to get our gelatin prepared. So I like to buy my gelatin in bulk. If you do so, you can use 2.5 tablespoons of an unflavored gelatin. You can also use the envelopes of an unflavored gelatin. If you use this type of a gelatin, you can use 2 to 3 packets or envelopes. If you want a fluffier and softer marshmallow, go closer to 2 envelopes. If you want a firmer marshmallow, you could do 3, even 4 envelopes for this recipe. So to our KitchenAid stand mixer, I will add 2.5 tablespoons of an unflavored gelatin. To this, I will add a 1/2 cup of cold water. And we'll just whisk this together so that the gelatin is well combined with the water. And now we'll let the gelatin bloom for about 20 minutes. Now let's head over to the stove top and we'll work on making the sugar mixture for our marshmallow candies. Okay, so to this pan we will add a 1/2 cup of room temperature water, 1.5 cups of sugar, one cup of a light corn syrup, and an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Now we'll turn this up to medium-high heat, and we'll stir the sugar and corn syrup together with the water and that little bit of salt. We're just going to cook this at about a medium temperature just until the sugar dissolves. Okay, so now that the sugar has dissolved, I will turn the temperature up to medium-high heat, and we'll bring this sugar mixture up to the firm ball stage, which is 244 degrees Fahrenheit. You can monitor your sugar mixture temperature a number of ways. One, you can use a manual candy thermometer, such as this one here. Or you could use a laser thermometer, such as you've likely seen me use a number of times in my canning videos. Or you can use a thermometer such as I'll be using today, which is a little spatula with a built-in candy thermometer. It has a little on-off switch up here, and you can toggle between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So as you stir your sugar mixture, you can constantly be monitoring the temperature. So we'll continue to let this sugar mixture cook and heat up until we reach the firm ball stage of 244 degrees Fahrenheit. When we reach that stage, what you'll likely see is a number of bubbles, both at the base, middle, and top of your sugar mixture. Right now we're getting bubbles at the base of the sugar mixture. We're at about 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're at about 230 degrees, and that's the soft ball stage. Okay, we're nearly there. We're about 240 degrees. You can see the mixture is clear with this very slightly amber color to it. There's bubbles going all the way throughout this mixture. I like using this spatula thermometer utensil because it's really handy and you can kind of keep an eye constantly on the temperature as you're mixing. But I would definitely say that the laser thermometer is more accurate, so I'd like to confirm with that. I think it more has to do with that this is moving throughout this mixture, so you're finding hot spots, cool spots, and things like that, and eventually comes close to the temperature that it truly is. Whereas a laser thermometer, you're just getting that read instantly. So we're at 242, 243, 244. All right. So now we will remove the sugar mixture from the heat. We'll head back to the gelatin. All right, so the gelatin mixture has been blooming for about 20 minutes. Now we will carefully pour our warmed sugar mixture into the gelatin mixture. All right, I'll reattach the whisk. Lower it down. We'll just stir the gelatin with the sugar mixture. A lower setting, just until they're well combined. So now we'll increase the speed and mix this on a high setting. It usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes until we get this to be triple the volume. We get a nice thick marshmallow consistency. There we go, looks good. So now we'll add our vanilla flavoring. So we'll add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Let's turn the whisk on just to get this vanilla incorporated. All right, now let's head over for the next step. Okay, so this marshmallow mixture took about 10 minutes to get to this consistency. When we were whisking it, we added that vanilla flavoring. Now what we're going to do is pour our marshmallow mixture into these 2 pans. I have 2 different pans because I'm doing 2 different candies. I'm going to be doing some chocolate covered marshmallow eggs and some homemade peeps. So what I have on the base of these pans is some powdered sugar that I sifted so it's nice and smooth, and we're going to be using the powdered sugar much like you would flour. That'll help prevent our marshmallows from sticking to the pan and will just make them easier to work with. So I'm going to add some marshmallow mixture to both of these pans. So now I'm just going to try and get this marshmallow mixture to go to all the corners. As it sits, it kind of spreads as well, but eventually it will fill in the pans and have a nice smooth surface on top. So now what we're going to do is let these marshmallows sit at room temperature uncovered for about 5 hours until they harden. I'm going to do that step completely for the chocolate covered marshmallows that we'll make later, but for the Peeps pan, after about an hour or so, once this settles more and smooths out, then I will add some of the colored sugars to make the Peeps. So I have some sugar in the raw that I pulsed and ground down to a little bit of a finer sugar, and then I used some gel food coloring. And I did 4 drops of the gel food coloring each of the dishes. And I have yellow, pink, green, and blue. So we'll make 4 different colored marshmallow Peeps once this marshmallow mixture settles a little bit and spreads out into this pan shape. So we'll let these sit at room temperature until we're ready for the next step. Okay, so the smaller pan here has been sitting for about 1 hour, and it's firmed up slightly, but the surface is still kind of sticky. That's a perfect time to add our colored sugars. So what I'm going to do is add the different colors in about 1/4 of the marshmallow mixture so we can make some different colored Peeps to enjoy. Now normally Peeps are covered with all surfaces of the treat. For these homemade ones, I'm just going to put it on the surface. And I think that will still give a nice look and a homemade touch to this Peeps candy. Sprinkle it on top and then you can lightly pat it on. There's the yellow. I'll do some pink. Gently pat that into the marshmallow surface. Do some green. And some blue. There, we have it all colored. So now I'm just gonna let this sit and rest for the remainder of the time. And then when we're ready, we'll cut these into the different shapes and sizes that we want for our Peeps candy. All right, so our marshmallow treats have been sitting at room temperature for about 4 to 5 hours here. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna set the Peeps one aside. And first we'll work on the regular marshmallow that we're going to cover with chocolate. So I'm going to add some powdered sugar to the cutting board here. Just remove our marshmallow from the pan. There we go. Let's add a little more powdered sugar. Now what we're going to do is cut our marshmallow into the shapes that we want. So I can do little bunny rabbits, maybe an Easter egg, or a flower shape. Then I'm going to cover them with chocolate. So I think I'm going to do eggs. These are just cookie cutters. A cute little egg shape. So place that into the pan until we're ready to cover them with chocolate. So I have 10 nice size Easter egg shaped marshmallow treats. And I have these scraps. I don't want to waste these. I might just cover these random shapes with some chocolate and then we can just eat them as a snack. But for now, let's head over to the stovetop and we'll get these covered with chocolate. Okay, so in this bowl I have about 2 cups of chocolate chips and I'm going to be melting the chocolate using the double boiler method. So I have a pot with about halfway filled with water and then a stainless steel bowl. So the water will boil, steam will rise, and slowly melt the chocolate chips in this bowl so that it'll be nice and shiny and melted and great for covering our marshmallows. You can also melt your chocolate chips by placing them into a glass bowl and then microwave them for about 20 seconds, stir them, and then microwave them again for about 20 seconds, and keep doing that until all the chocolate chips have melted and they're nice and smooth. So we're going to melt these chocolate chips using the double boiler method. So we'll let the water heat up and melt these chocolate chips for us. Once this is melted and ready to go, I'll dip 1 egg-shaped marshmallow treat into here to coat it. I have a number of candy making tools here. I have a little candy maker strainer. There's a fork, other kind of, this is more for strawberries, but this works well. And this little skewer works nice for trying to remove the candy off of any of these utensils. So I'll probably use some combination or possibly all of them in order to chocolate cover coat our marshmallow candies. So the water is boiling and the steam is coming up. It's melting these chocolate chips real nicely. So I'm just kind of stirring this with a spatula and smushing down these chocolate chips so that they hit the bottom of this stainless steel bowl and it helps to melt them. All right, there we go. The chocolate is all melted and it's a nice smooth and shiny consistency. So we'll remove it from the heat. And now we'll work on covering our marshmallow shaped eggs. So we'll place one in at a time. Coat them with the chocolate. Let's see what works the best here. Okay, so here we have our 10 chocolate covered marshmallow eggs. I'm going to put this tray into the freezer for about 20 minutes so that the chocolate coating can harden, and then we'll move on to the peeps that we're going to make. All right, so now we're moving on to the homemade peeps. So typically if you were to make the full batch of the marshmallow, you could make a 9 by 13. And then you'd have a lot more options for the shapes of marshmallow treats that you could make. You can make little bunny rabbit, larger egg, maybe a flower shape. I have a couple little circles. Since I did the majority of the marshmallow mix to make the chocolate covered marshmallows and the remaining to make some homemade peeps, I'll probably have to stick with a much smaller shape and size cutting of this. The first what we're going to do is remove this marshmallow treat from the pan. I'm just letting the excess sugar fall off there. So I could maybe get one rabbit or one Easter egg out of each color. Maybe a flower out of each color, and then maybe do some little baby circles. I think that's what I'll do. See if I can get one or two flowers out of each of the colors. So I'll cut it out and then place it onto a little baking sheet here. It's a yellow. Let's see if I might be able to get one green. We get a nice multicolor one right in the middle. Let's see here. Get one circle there. So we get some baby circles here. People just want a little taste of the homemade peep. These little circles actually turned out pretty cute. To me, they look like little mushrooms. They're a little skinnier on the bottom. So we have 7 peep flowers, 1 circle, and 2, 4, 6, 8 little mushrooms. So let me plate these up along with the chocolate covered marshmallow eggs, and we'll check out our marshmallow homemade candies that we made today. All right, here are our homemade marshmallow candies. We did some homemade peeps on the left and chocolate covered marshmallow eggs on the right. For either of these recipes, I shared and divided the marshmallow batch, but you could do a single batch and do all chocolate covered marshmallow, and do a single batch and do all peeps, and just make whatever shapes and sizes that you wanted. Now for how I store these, I like to put these into individual cellophane bags, and then I'll put a little sticker label on them and label what they are. You can use whatever sticker or label that you'd like, and that works really well for giving these out as party favors or just for sharing at a gathering, adding to Easter baskets or other such holidays, and also, as mentioned earlier, having some nice homemade candies on a movie night on your snack bar. Well, if you like more inspiration on other homemade candy that you can make, you can check out other videos that I have. We make a number of different candies together, as well as other delicious sweet treats that will help satisfy your sweet tooth. Well, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if not, thanks for hanging out with me again today while we made these homemade candies. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so yet, I sure would appreciate you subscribing. See you next time. Take care.